Hey guys, welcome back to LGL Season 2. Right now we have a match between Team FuriousFive and Team RedPingGaming. RedPingGaming has, and alongside me, we have Scarlett and Aurora to cast alongside me.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey guys,
Hi.
it's a semi-pro match, so we're sure to have a lot of plays, so stick around. Talking about picks and we're in the pick and ban phase, so Todd, talk about the bans and.
Yeah, we do see LeBlanc, General Lane Bully champion being banned out by RedPingGaming. Zed as well. So, Demacia is that mid laner. So I guess Demacia is an assassin player. So the bans are either aimed at him, or it could also be a generalized ban because they are in the meta champions as well, and they are very snowbally. So they want to ban
Actually, I
that
think
away.
that's a generalized ban because playing against RedPingGaming, the bans are pretty much the same. They banned Sejuani and LeBlanc. And the Hecarim ban is really good for the purple team because Hecarim is so strong in this patch.
Exactly, and I believe Poro Knight plays a decent Hecarim as well. He shows a lot of presence in the lanes whenever required. He doesn't care about his lane as much. He's more of a team guy. So I've played against him, and he helped out his team. He gave my team a lot of trouble in the early games. So yeah, that's how I know about his Hecarim. So yeah, that has been banned out for him, and do see Vi being picked up as the first pick, and Ram is that's quite a surprising pick, isn't it?
Yeah, Rammus is not really being played that much because tank junglers are back in the 5.5 patch. They've just been made viable because of the addition of the new jungler items. So I think Rammus is a low tier jungler right now purely because there are better junglers in the meta. One could go for could you think of any other substitution junglers that he could have picked?
Exactly. I don't know why he picked Rammus, but Rammus's gangs are pretty much one of the best OPS gangs, because he has a very high movement speed, and all the wards that he plays nearby are pretty much going to be helpless because even if you see him coming, you will not be able to get out in time. So, and his taunt is pretty damn OP, where he will taunt you up for around 2.5 seconds, I guess. So
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
very OP indeed.
That's a really good point. But you see that RPG Gaming has picked up that Morgana in direct response to that Alistar and Rammus pick. So a lot of their CC is going to be either focused on their tanks to avoid the wastage on the CC on a shielded ADC, basically.
Exactly. The Rammus is hard countered by the Morgana spell shield. But Alistar couldn't be exactly spell shielded unless Alistar makes it very obvious, because before you know it, Alistar will just hit you in your face. So
yeah, but
Morgana
the
can't
opportunity cost of Alistar going for your face means that the AD carry's face isn't being targeted, so. A really good Janna, which I know this Janna is good because she is the shot caller for RPG Gaming, actually, RPG Disarray, so hopefully she'll be able to land those snares and spell shields on time.
As you're a support yourself, and so is Aurora. I guess you guys know a lot about shot calling. Since you guys don't have to farm in game, you just have to need to focus on where the enemy where the enemy jungler could be, or what place could be on the map, and a few roams by yourself or toward the mid lane or so, helping out your mid laner as well.
Yep, as a shot caller for my team, last game it was pretty helpful, even though RPG Gaming we were playing against RPG Gaming and they had a couple of DCs, but it was really helpful being the shoutcaster as a support because we just have a lot more map awareness, I guess, because we're used to the warding and the roaming.
Exactly. I do believe. Do you play Morgana or Alistair bot lane?
Yeah,
Scarlet?
I play Morgana a lot. We were playing against the Alistair, which is why I was adamant on saying that a really good Morgana can absolutely stop that Alistair in his tracks, because I played against an Alistair in this tournament, and it was pretty straightforward landing those spell shields on the ADC. I mean,
But
Time it as well.
but Wayne with Alistair, I don't think that's a pretty good combo. I would
That is
rather
actually one
prefer
of the.
Wayne.
It is a combo, Slavia, because
it is a very
it
strong
is the.
combination along with that, because the CC from Alistair allows Vayne to get into position to condemn the ADC into a wall. And he provides sustain in
But
lane
there
for
is a
Vayne.
Morgana in the opponent team, you see? Like you can, because if even Alistair comes to trying pushing away their AD carry or the support, she can just spell shield and he can't do anything about it. And what
Yeah.
if the Vayne condemns the AD carry and the Alistair pushes the condemned away? That would be quite a misunderstanding right there, because I've seen that a lot in many of the games. It usually happens. So I don't really prefer an Alistair Vayne lane. I would rather prefer if there is a Morgana or a Caitlyn in the opponent team. I would rather prefer going a Nami and a Vayne bot lane. That has more potential in the lane, because she can actually speed up, because with Vayne's passive and Nami's passive, that would be a lot of movement speed for Vayne, and she can catch up with anybody against her, even if there's a Morgana. Spell shield
Well,
won't do
I'm pretty
much.
sure that this Vayne is not going bot lane, so this is redundant. The Vayne is actually playing a top Vayne, because the Cassiopeia is mid and the ADC is Holy Gunners.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Oops.
Yeah,
No wonder.
Yeah, well, just
That
talking
is a
about the
pretty
bot
good
lane for
lane.
a second
It
now.
it could.
Alistair and Ezreal is the bot lane we're supposed to be talking about. I think the matchup is pretty even. I think I'll put it in the favor of Morgana and Caitlyn purely because they have the range, and Alistair is a very assault head-on support. He needs to get really close to deal any CC or damage. But Ezreal has that gap closer, and he can obviously jump into the fight. So this is going to be a skill matchup, whether the Morgana can actually land the spell shield on the ADC before the Alistair successfully carries out his combo.
Exactly. The Alistair actually offers more kill potential compared to the Morgana. Because Alistair doesn't have a very strong escape. He's more of an all-in kind of champion. It completely depends on disarray on the Morgana if he'll be able to spell shield the Alistair combo on time. Because if he fails to do it, Morgana will be knocked up, and before he knows it, Ramus could just come out of nowhere and start taunting. So Morgana can maybe spell shield one of the CCs, but you still have the Alistair plus the Ramus threat, so you cannot CC both unless they time it at the exact same instant. So nonetheless, they have a strong CC team with the Ramus, Alistair, and the Gundam and the Cassiopeia ultimate as well. So not all is lost. The Morgana cannot spell shield every bit of CC that's thrown at her.
Yeah, but okay, moving away from the bot lane right now, I really want to talk about this top lane, because Vayne is not really a tournament top pick purely because their team has two main heavy tanks. They felt comfortable picking up a Vayne top, but I feel like it's going to be a really hard lane, especially against a Gangplank, because I think he's going to be going Crit Plank. The early if she manages to get a CS lead or maybe a kill in the lane with the help of a jungler, she might be able to manage, but if she allows the Gangplank to farm, it's going to be really difficult because he starts to hurt once he gets that static shiv.
Exactly,
And the lack of a teleport as well, that's going to be really difficult for Team FuriousFive to deal with because of the early dragons that's been happening recently in all tournament games.
I've noticed this that FuriousFive's top laner Yellowfish tends to play a lot of solo queue champions. Last game against Clueless Gaming, Timo was banned out actually. Timo was banned and then he picked up Fiora. So seeing all these picks, Timo, Fiora, and currently a Vayne, it's pretty obvious that Yellowfish is actually more of a solo queue player. And
Yeah,
yeah,
especially
Vayne
from
top
this
is
Vayne pick as well. I think they're actually gonna go on this gangplank. The Vayne not condemning had the chance, just forcing him out. Has used
exactly, but no.
a crystalline flask, but he'll get that charge back. It's a pretty standard start, not any crazy invades. The mid
Exactly,
lane,
and
I'm really looking forward to that level 6 mid lane, especially a juke out or a fake pass from Ari's ult to face away from Cassiopeia's ult. I'm really looking forward to him trying to outplay that Cassiopeia ult.
we have a Blackstar on the RE again going up against the Cassiopeia today. Yesterday, Aurora was casting with me, and she did point out that Cassiopeia does hard counter an RE. And yesterday it was Damien who was playing the Cassiopeia, and today we have Demacia playing Cassiopeia. Let's see how the matchup indeed works. If the Cassiopeia does actually hard counter an RE or not, we will find out. Aurora, you still favor the matchup, right? The Cassiopeia against RE. Aurora, hello, are you there? Okay, Aurora
Well,
seems to be AFK. So, nonetheless, Cassiopeia is very strong in the early few levels, at least before Ari is mobile with her ultimate. So it could still favor the Cassiopeia even post level 6. It completely depends on the playstyles and if the junglers decide to intervene. But the junglers should be actually more focused on ganking top lane because the Vayne, without a teleport as well, she could be shut down in lane. Vayne has no real escape other than maybe the condemn tumble away, but the Gangplank's Q is just gonna slow down the Vayne enough for Vi to come over and pick up the kill onto the Vayne. So Vayne top is questionable, especially in a 5v5 game, because the jungler has to camp out the Vayne top. And Vayne will likely die as well because she's fairly squishy in these early levels.
yeah. Just talking about the bot lane for a second. The Alistar has chosen to go a very passive lane. He took his heal level 1, which is, I don't know, most Alistar's bot lane take their headbutt just to get some early aggression. I haven't seen a lot of them take heal level 1, purely because that's a very defensive playstyle, and as a support you really want to zone out the ADC and show some dominance. As you can see, the jungler coming in the top lane, obviously, like Todd pointed out, but 87 Gamer right in place for the counter gank, might be going in on this buy. The condemn not going out because it was used to get away from him in the first place. The taunt coming out, a very short taunt, gets away.
Not exactly. The taunt would have taunted him enough for a very long time, but Gangplank's W is it? It's what he chews up the fruit, where it allows him to instantly get rid of any CC that's thrown at him. It will instantly. It's basically a free cleanse. That is one of Gangplank's OP spells. It's basically like a spell shield which you can use even after you're CC'd. So, meanwhile,
I think Rammus is going to catch out this Vi for a second time. The condemn will come out from Vayne. I think this is going to be a kill for FuriousFive Gaming.
exactly, first blood goes over to the who doesn't go to the Vayne. That is troubling indeed. But nonetheless, even if Vayne has a kill in the lead, she can
Does have that
still
blue buff
very
as
easily
well.
go down.
Gangplank choosing not to go back just to allow her not to have that CS lead. He should be bullying him some more right about now.
Gangplank will run out of mana in the early few levels. He will probably go for Sheen and Trinity Force the next few minutes. Let's find out about that. But nonetheless, Vayne getting a kill wouldn't exactly be a high threat as of now, because if the Y managed to, I mean, the Ramis ganks Vayne a second time or a third time, Vayne will eventually go down. He will not be able to even condemn the Gangplank, because he's just going to chew the fruit and get away from any CC that's thrown at him.
I think this is gonna be just a fail gank from Vi, because a lot of used summoners. Yari out of mana. I actually disagree with you with the whole a Vayne doesn't do much with one kill, because I have faced a Vayne as a gangplank in the top lane before, and one kill is enough to do wonders. Look at the damage on those silver bolts right there. That takes almost quarter of his health. Morgana with some really good map presence, and Vi with some really good map presence in place for the counter gank from Rammus.
What I meant by not a huge deal if Vayne gets a first kill is that Vi could, the Rammus could help Gangplank get a kill back onto the
Vi. Oh, the snare lands on Flux Holy Gunners and he's gonna go down. Alistair is gonna go trying for that Vi, but the heal comes out from Caitlyn and saves him. Rammus might be going in trying to taunt someone. The spell shield goes out on Caitlyn. Gets caught by the trap. He might... No, he's gonna be able to get away purely from that defensive ball curl and extra armor. But that was a really good snare by this Morgana. Playing against the Morgana last game as well, I know exactly how frustrating it is to play against RPG Disarray. She was really good with the bindings.
As well, yeah. The Morgana did spell shield the Caitlyn when Rammus rolled over into the bot lane. Even if Rammus had tried to go and get pick up a kill onto the Morgana, Caitlyn would have been able to retaliate and pick up a kill onto the Rammus in return. So yeah, Disarray doing a fairly good job at bot lane. And this Cassiopeia is looking pretty in the mid lane, having a decent CS lead over the Ahri.
The jungler did give her blue buff, so she should be able...
Oh yeah. Yeah, Cassiopeia actually relies a lot on her spells.
Really heavily on mana. Both of these mid laners rely heavily on mana, so I'm just wondering about this Vi giving the blue buff to the Ahri, because already she's being zoned out of lane with a massive CS difference from 47 to 68. That is pretty big for a tournament game of this magnitude, considering that the score is pretty even and no dragons have been taken, which is quite surprising since a lot of early game dragons have been a strategy used. Vi coming in for a gank, the snare by Ahri, a really good ultimate by Cassiopeia, but she's gonna fall for that ultimate. And that's just the mobility from Ahri coming out right here.
That is a much needed kill on the Ahri, because she was falling down on CS compared to the Cassiopeia. Let's not forget Cassiopeia does win over the Ahri to an extent, because she will be able to bully out the Ahri quite a bit if played right. And meanwhile, at mid we do see Rammus going aggressive
for... Why? The taunt is gonna come out from Rammus. Flashes burn.
You see how OP the taunt is, because once you do manage to hit the taunt, you're pretty much dead. There is no escape from the taunt. Unless, it's Gangplank who can chew the fruit, or Morgana manages to spell shield right in time.
Yeah. Just really looking forward to the team fights and the dragon dance. I really think it's gonna go in blue team's favor just purely because Gangplank does not have. I mean, Vayne does not have the teleport that Gangplank does. So I really feel like the jungler should be focusing on getting those dragons right now. The Vi is going for a very gank heavy lane.
The Vi should actually try and help out Gangplank as much as possible because Gangplank is he has to snowball the Gangplank a little bit because he does have a teleport and whereas the Vayne has a summoner spell, a heal compared to a teleport. So if you manage to snowball the Gangplank a little bit, he'll be able to participate in team fights much more compared to the Vayne, where Vayne will mostly be a split push force as opposed to the Gangplank, where Gangplank will offer more to the team by participating in more team fights as opposed to the Vayne. And not to mention having two AD carries in a team and pretty much no tank. Vi being a jungler will have a little bit of tankiness, but a jungler nonetheless will not be as tanky as a top laner because he will have he'll be considerably under farm as opposed to a top laner. So it's just a jungle Vi who's the only
This is
front
pretty
liner
funny right
in that
now.
team.
Vi was sitting right atop a ward, and Rammus was patiently waiting for his chance to counter gank. He is gonna go in for that Vi and taunt the Vi. The Ahri is gonna use her ult to kill Cassiopeia, but she has no more charges to get away. Gangplank coming mid to help her out. This might be a kill for RPG Gaming. The Vayne is just too late with the follow-up. Gonna go back to lane and farm that.
I think you're a little behind, Scarlet. What time are you on? I'm on 12:46.
12:40.
Okay, press
43,
J
44,
because
45.
yeah, you're pretty behind. I'm on 12:55 right now.
The spectator is not letting me go ahead, so I don't know what to do.
Press J.
Huh?
Oh, okay. What do I need? I need to go back. How many seconds now?
It's 13 010, 13 11,
Okay.
13 12, 13 13, 14, 15.
Okay. Okay, I'm on par with you now. I'm on 13:17 right now.
Alright.
All's good. We did see, that's the power of the Gangplank right there. He can offer a lot of team support even if he doesn't have a teleport
Oh, the
because of
snare
his
by
global ultimate.
Morgana. And that is the spell sheet I've been waiting for. He just completely negated that taunt that was coming out by Rammus. And that's exactly what I'm looking for in a team fight right now. If she keeps landing those spell shields, it's gonna be a pretty good team fight for RPG Gaming. They have Dragon Vision right now, and they have started it. The red team is not gonna be able to take it from them, especially since Ezreal ult was just used, helping them with that dragon. Vision control on blue team side is pretty good right now.
Yeah, they have managed to take an initial lead, which gave them the ability to rotate a little better. Confident in their movements around the map as opposed to FuriousFive, who are playing a little behind. So yeah, that's how the early leads transition. Once you start getting an early lead, once your laners are a little stronger, and you start roaming around, the enemy laners are just going to be looking to farm up instead of following up onto to anybody who just goes missing.
Yeah. And as you said, you were talking about the fact that you think that Vi should be helping Gangplank top more. I actually think that's pretty much redundant right now because he can't stop her from farming. This is pretty much a farm lane, except when it comes for dragons. Because he can just orange her condemn basically, and she can get away purely because of that condemn. So I think actually they should have focused on getting those early dragons, especially since they were on par with ward coverage prior to the dragon.
Uh, Nonetheless, Gangplank is currently even with the Vayne because he does have a global ultimate which managed to pick up a lot of assists for his team. I mean, assists for himself. So yeah, that's the power of the Gangplank, guys. Even if you don't have a teleport, you can still manage to assist your team from over across the map. That's the power of the Gangplank. His ultimate is pretty OP and but he is fairly squishy because he is going for
The
a static
flash
ship.
going out preemptively from Cassiopeia, that must have been some sort of miscommunication because the counter gank was readily available and the Vi was out of mana. That
Cassiopeia
possibly
was just
could have.
scared of the Vi ulting her first, which would have resulted in Ari taunting the Cassiopeia as well, and Cassiopeia would have just been insta bursted at that point. Ramis joined in a little late, but yeah, I guess it was the flash was
The Powerball with
just
the taunt would have
safe.
negated the charm from Ari, I think. But that's just speculation for now. As you can see, Vi picking up that blue, not giving it to the mid laner. The blue is still up for a red team, so he might be giving it to that Cassiopeia, which might give her an edge over Ari. Ari picking up no mana regen items, so she is gonna be in a bit of trouble, while Cassiopeia does have that tier stacking right now. So I think that was pretty irresponsible of Vi, the jungler right now. But they are ahead, so it might be just because Ari's playing a kill lane.
Vi is actually helping out the Ari a lot, so I guess it is fair a little bit because it's like she's wasting all her ultimate and all her ganks at mid, so it is a fair
she's behind
trade.
on experience, so I'll concede to that.
Exactly. And Vi is 0 and 3 currently. All the deaths on team RPG side is on the Vi, so he wants a little bit of the farm to get back in the game. Meanwhile, it is interesting what Ari has bought. She has bought the new item, the Luden's Echo, which is, I don't know if it's worth buying on the Ari. I guess it is. I'm not really sure about the new item, but I do hear a lot of good things about it. Ari is usually naturally mobile with her ultimate and a Q. But with this Luden's Echo, she would have increased movement speed, allowing her to be even more mobile. I'm not sure if it's required in an Ari, but nonetheless, it's a.
It actually works really well in an Ari purely because she's very mobile. As you can see, she has started roaming, so she might go for a gank, especially since they don't. Red team does not have vision on her right now. The Caitlyn should not be pushing right now to try and get the gank off on the bottom lane. Ari is just wasting time in CS mid lane. Not been spotted yet by the bot lane. She was choosing to go back to mid. Pretty standard top lane. A bunch of dancing by the junglers, trying to see if there's ganking, but yeah, the Luden's Echo works as, I mean, you know that everyone's explaining it in this way, but it's basically a mage's static shiv, and you gain charges upon moving. So I think it works really well on Ari, especially since she's able to spam her skills and burst targets down. So I think it's a pretty good item on her.
Alright. Do you see the bot lane CS being pretty even? Caitlyn has a 12 CS lead, slightly ahead, but Caitlyn is fairly weak in the mid stages of the game, whereas Israel can shine in team fights as opposed to the Caitlyn because he is on his way to completing his Trinity Force, whereas Caitlyn is on a way for Infinity Edge, but the mid game power spike for the Israel should be stronger than the Caitlyn as the champion it allows them to. But nonetheless, Caitlyn should be stronger than in Israel toward the late game. But Israel is a fairly strong late game champion by himself. So all in all, good kit. But But I don't like the team fight potential coming in from RedPingGaming as they have 280 carries and they have to play the team fights really well. They have to,
Yeah, very
peel out a
carefully.
lot. Yeah, very carefully. They have to peel. They have no protection themselves because they have an Alistair support as well. He doesn't offer as much peel as opposed to, a Nami, Diana, or even a
Yeah, they're
Morgana.
going for basically a hard engage comp, so they should be looking to make the engages rather than wait to be engaged on. Ari could ult and take the charm right now, but she chooses to flash. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, she could have
She was
just
surrounded
ulted
by
right
two
there.
of her teammates. I mean, she didn't even have to flash. The snare was landed by the Morgana. But what I really do want to talk about is the Alistair and his use of the Relic Shield right now, because it's quite upsetting as a support player when the Alistair is not picking up his stacks on the cannon minion, because that is quite important to the goal lead for the support. And
Exactly.
another dragon being picked up by the blue team. That's 2 dragons to none. And 6 to 3 in terms of kills. Gangplank taking that top lane tower, that just means more farm for Vayne, but that also means more map coverage for the blue team right now. More areas of the map in darkness for the red team, which in turn means more wards that they need to invest in.
Yeah, it is
Plus the lack
surprising to
of
see.
Plus, the
Yeah, go
lack of a
on.
tower for the top lane red team means that they can start trying. They can start doing those dragon fights without any teleport coming in from the top lane of red team.
I'm not sure how Gangplank was the one who got the tower instead of the Vayne because Vayne is ranged and it would have normally forced the Gangplank to play defensive under the tower, queuing his creeps under the tower, but so it would be the blue team's tower which on paper would have taken more hits by now, but
That's the thing about
apparently.
Gangplank top. His static shift just clears all minions when it's under tower. He's a very fast clearer when it comes to bot lane. I mean, when it comes to top lane clearing. Ari coming in for the gank will be hit by the powerball. Is not taunted by the Rammus. He showed some hesitation, and that resulted in 2 kills for the blue team. I'm sorry, I
Exactly.
just had to pause for a second because I was really expecting the taunt from Rammus. Anyway, bot lane tower does go down, and that is going to be more the puzzle to finishing this game from RPG Game. They are playing extremely well this game. A lot
Okay,
of
and
good
you see,
rotation and communication coming out from RPG Gaming.
yeah, and Gangplank was able to get a couple of assists for free as well because of his ultimate, but he paid the price top when Payne just managed to get a solo kill on him. A solo kill on him, sorry.
But you can clearly see the Morgana is calling the shots on this because of the kills going on in bottom lane. She's taking the lead on this initiative, and I might be biased as a support player, but I can surely appreciate what this Morgana is doing for the team.
Exactly. I believe he's a platinum player himself, right?
Yeah, he is a
Shot,
platinum player,
so
a
yeah,
very good
shot
one
calling
at that.
should be pretty good.
I mean, I'm a firm believer that rank plays its role in when someone has a ranking, it plays its role in letting people know how good you are, but the real only judge of skill is when you play against the person, and playing against this Morgana, I can say that she's a top class support. She was extremely good at landing her binds, very well calculated in team fights, really good presence in lane, although
Exactly. It's the support's job in the laning phase to snowball the
in
AD
lane,
carry,
a really
and
good
he's doing
condemn by
just that.
Vayne into the river. Uh, Gangplank is doing his job, being crit plank, getting a triple kill from his static shiv plus those auto attacks. the oranges just being a source of sustain for him. I don't know how well this is gonna go in the late game though. If they can manage to drag this out in the late game, there's a possibility because Cassiopeia is extremely strong with that ultimate late game. After the nerfs that Ahri received from her buffed Q, she's not as strong. Especially with the deletion of Deathfire Grasp from the game, she has a hard time deleting the AD carry from team fights if she doesn't have the help of any CC.
Ahri's not exactly too strong
stun
late
on
game.
Alistair, causing him to flash and use
fairly
his ult.
strong late game. Is not extremely strong. She's around the mid tier late game champions, but she does offer a lot of pick potential as opposed to the Cassiopeia. So all in all, she's a very well balanced champ. But the Cassiopeia does offer a lot of sustained damage potential as opposed to an Ahri, because even if a Cassiopeia completely wastes her ultimate, she can still deal consistent damage due to her poison and her twin fangs. She can just keep spamming them over and over again, and it completely decimates even the health points on the tankiest member of the team. And in this case, it's Vi who's the tank of the team, and Vi will, despite Vi getting any sort of MR, she will get shredded by the twin fangs coming from Cassiopeia. The Cassiopeia will be a better scaling champion nonetheless. Cassiopeia is very strong at the moment. You do see Cassiopeia being picked up by a lot of players here in the LCS and so, but it is sort of uncommon here in ILG because it is a high skill cap champion. Yeah. Sorry, did I say here in the LCS? My
Yep.
bad.
Here in the Indian LCS viewers, we've got a lot of Cassiopeia. A team fight breaking down near the jungle. Vayne being ulted by the Vi almost immediately. A very good condemn by her, keeps her alive. She goes down to the Ahri. This might be the end of the team fight unless Ezreal is trying to pick off other people with his poke.
That crit onto the Israel was scary by the Caitlyn. That one crit plus the static shiv proc pretty much took out 80% of Israel's HP or 50%.
Ahri did land that charm, a brilliant charm by Ahri. She could take this next kill if she had fought longer. Chose her ult defensively and then try to go back in after she noticed the damage.
Israel is very slippery. Didn't manage this, but that was a flash charm coming in from the Ahri. That would have been a. Thankfully, he did manage to land the charm.
Morgana using her ult on one person.
Doesn't matter if it's gonna kill him, might as well use it. Ram is actually having a really hard time right now. He's pretty much feeling completely useless in this game as he's just 71 minions in nearly 30 minutes, 1, 6 and 4 in score. Plus, not to mention, all of his abilities are being completely negated by Gangplank and Morgana.
Morgana is caught out here. A really well placed Black Shield does protect her, but she dodges but not the Q from Ezreal, and that is gonna be. But I was just watching this, like, when you're playing a game that you were winning, by a pretty big lead, which I consider this to be a pretty big lead. 16-8 is very big, especially since they have 3 dragons and that extra damage potential. They are keeping up their warding. Look at the amount of pinks on their map. For 5 members of the team with a minimum of 4 pinks on the map right now, that's just one person with 1 less pink. And there were 2 cleared out just then. So every single member of team is placing pink wards, and that's something that's really amazing to look at as a support. It's just really heartwarming.
I know that feel. When you're playing support and you just see 3 wards in the entire map, 4, including your own pink ward, support's pink ward as well. So it's pretty annoying when you're playing support and you pretty much see only 4 wards on the entirety of the map.
Exactly. I feel like RPG Gaming's strength is in their warding right now, because even in our past game, we were just dominated by their map awareness.
Exactly, and Cassiopeia actually, Zonia's, will she manage to survive this? She does actually. She might survive, but Poro Knight is still full HP. He could go in for another kill. Poro Knight on the
He's gonna
gangplank
go for
goes
it,
in
and
behind
she
the
is gonna
tower.
fall.
Yeah.
Caitlyn just battering the bottom tower. Ezreal's so far behind that he's not being able to do anything. A good crit and the proc could kill him, but he blinks away. He has one of the best escapes in the game, honestly, because his isn't a dash like Lucian or Graves, but his is a blink. Makes it almost impossible to flay or play from a thresh or land a snare on him.
Team FuriousFive,
Cooldown.
I've noticed even in the previous game that they are playing a lot of solo queue-ish, whereas Team RedPingGaming is doing a lot of good plays around the map, playing as a team. The Gangplank being able to pick up a lot of assists at the bot lane, even without even having to teleport because of the use of his ultimate. So
we do see him in the near the bot lane inner turret though, just because of the rotations that blue team has been doing. Like, just look at their map awareness and the amount of towers they've taken. This goal lead is astounding. 54.6k to 44.3 in the 32-minute game is incredible. I mean, they could they could have ended about 5 minutes ago, according to the way that they're playing. They're playing just on top of their game right now.
Although
a really good snare by Morgana, but it's negated by the Zhonya Hourglass. A really good trap by Caitlyn keeps her in place.
That Zhonya's was just a suicide, actually. All 4 members were grouped up, and
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if she didn't Zhonya anyway. She was caught by that snare. The flash headbutt from Alistar, that was way too late. Had to have done that probably 20 minutes ago, near the dragon fights. The damage from Ahri and Gangplank just completely obliterate his armor and magic resist.
Although FuriousFive has a lot of late game champions and late game potential, I do feel that team composition is fairly weak as opposed to RedPingGaming. So despite the individual late game champions, they will still lose our team fights, I feel. Even if they manage to. I think
this is gonna be the third death for Morgana. Oh, she lands the binding! My god, I'm in love with this Morgana right now. She gets MVP for this game. I mean, in my opinion.
And we do see that team. Team's name again, sorry, I forgot. The blue team has pretty much opened out the entirety of the map, and they are completely, the dragon is up for taking in a couple of seconds, and the baron is up for taking as well. As the red team is, the bot inhibitor is down, which should signal that the baron the baron is up for taking, because once you take out the bot inhibitor, the Baron, which is the top side of the map, will be an easy objective, because you either have to sacrifice some damage onto the Nexus turrets, or you have to give up the Baron. So that is exactly what Team Blue is doing right now. They're just gonna go for the Baron, I feel, right after doing this Dragon, if I'm not wrong. But they don't exactly need the Baron. Yeah, they don't exactly need the Baron right now, but once you open the bot tier turret, you might as well take the Baron.
They're going on the Rammus right now, focusing the Rammus. Ooh, Vi ultimates the Vayne. Gets away. She does not get away. This is an easy cleanup, but Ahri falls from the tower. Vi falls down to the tower. They are gonna take mid inhib off this and probably end the game. They have got minions pushing somewhere mid somewhere around the mid lane, but they're gonna choose the bot lane. Oh, and the surrender comes out from Team FuriousFive. That was gonna be GG. RedPingGaming coming out on top with a serious lead.